So in this channel, I review a lot of bikes and electric scooters. The main issue for me is capturing footage since I'm a one-man team, so getting third-person footage is really tough. I've been able to get around this issue somewhat with my Insta360 camera, but getting any type of drone footage is very tedious and time extensive. So I'm hoping to make this easier with the product I'm reviewing today, the HoverAir X1 Pro Max drone, which is a self-flying drone made by Zero Zero Robotics. I'm going to go over the details and specs, show you how to operate the drone, show you different shot modes, and give you my opinion if it really is worth buying. So there's a lot to talk about in this review, so let's get to it. So the HoverAir X1 Pro Max essentially is a selfie drone that you can record yourself and take photos. The Pro Max is the newest top-of-line version of the X1 model. So the Pro Max is pretty light and compact, with the drone only weighing about 192 grams, which is less than half a pound. When folded, the drone is 105 millimeters tall, 149 millimeters long, and 34 millimeters wide, and it easily fits inside a small bag. Unfolding the drone is simple and takes only a couple seconds, and when unfolded, the drone is 149 millimeters tall, 173 millimeters long, and 39 millimeters wide. The Pro Max's main body feels really high quality, and on top it houses the removable battery, which is a smart battery that can function at temperatures all the way down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. It only weighs 42 grams and has a 1,920 milliamp hour capacity for a flight time of 16 minutes. Up front is the camera that uses a 2-axis gimbal, smooth capture, and has a 16 millimeter wide lens that has a 107-degree field of view. The Pro Max's camera also has the best resolution of all the X1 models, with the camera being able to record in 8K up to 30 frames per second, 4K up to 120 FPS, and the ability to record vertical video in 4K up to 30 frames per second. When it comes to photos, the Pro Max has a resolution of 12 megapixels. And if you look around the body, you'll also notice in the rear are both proximity sensors and vision-based sensors for rear active collision detection. On top is a small digital screen and 3 buttons that allow you to power the drone on and off, choose different modes, and you can launch the drone. There's also 4 drone motors that have a max auto follow speed of 26 miles per hour and an instantaneous tracking speed of 37 miles per hour. And to protect both the motors and your hands is a rigid polycarbonate cage that's been smoothed out compared to the original X1 for better wind resistance and aerodynamics. There's also 64 gigabytes of internal storage and an SD card slot that supports up to 1 terabyte. And to use the drone, there is an app that's very intuitive, user-friendly, and a must-have to be able to use the drone to its full potential. In the app, there's 4 sections. Home, which is basically a social media for Hover, where other HoverAir users can post their videos, and you can post videos as well. I actually like this since it's a good way to get some video shot ideas. The second section is the Me section, which is your profile. You can update your profile, connect your drone, there's a tutorial on how to use your drone, you can purchase and monitor an extended warranty, contact support, check to see if there's restricted flight areas around you, and you can find your device and adjust your settings. And the next section is Hover, where you connect to your drone. You also have the ability to locate it as well. And the last is the flight modes, which is where you select the flight mode that you want your drone to do. My favorite part is that in each section, it not only allows you to select the mode, but also there's a video showing how to use the mode and tips. It makes using each mode very easy, and makes using the modes less intimidating for the user. And since I'm a bike channel, I'm reviewing the cycling combo, which includes extra accessories that are beneficial if you plan on using the Pro Max for recording yourself riding like I do. So if you purchase the drone by itself, you get the drone with a battery and a USB-C cable. But if you choose a cycling combo, you also receive a lot of accessories. First is 2 additional batteries, a charging hub to charge these batteries simultaneously, and a power adapter. It also comes with a beacon, which is pretty awesome. It's used to adjust your settings on your drone and gives you a real-time view of what your drone is seeing. And as an added bonus, it also has a built-in microphone. There's also a handlebar mount that you can mount your beacon onto when you're riding. It's made of high-quality rubber and has 2 tightness settings for mounting on different handlebar sizes. So you're probably wondering how to attach the beacon, and it's actually pretty smart. Also included is a magnetic adapter mount that uses a very strong magnet to attach to the beacon. But it's not only being held in by magnets, it also clicks in as well. Then you unfold the back tabs and mount directly to the handlebar mount. There's also 4 neutral density filters for filming in bright environments: ND8, ND16, ND32, and ND64. And included with these filters is a really nice protective case. And last is a multifunctional carrying bag which carries your drone and accessories. And what's really cool is you can use it as a regular bag or unzip it and it turns into a cycling bag. And it mounts really well and is very stable when pedaling. So now I've gone through the drone itself and all the accessories you get in the cycling combo. I'm going to show you each flight mode that's available at the time of me recording this video. And something to keep in mind is that each mode is customizable, but I'm going to be using the factory settings and only filming in 4K. But before we get into it, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the drone. So in a matter of about 20 seconds, I'm able to unfold the drone, turn it on, select the flight mode, and the drone takes off. To have the drone land, all you have to do is put your hand underneath the drone, and it lands itself. The first shot is hover, where the drone stays in a static position to film you. There's also a special quick shot called billboard that says celebrate every moment of your journey on it. Next is the zoom out shot, where the drone focuses on the user and then backs up and elevates to a zooming out shot. There's also a quick shot called group shot, where the video looks like a phone display, then takes a photo with a have a nice day at the bottom. There's also reveal, where your video is revealed to be on a phone. The third shot is the follow mode, where the drone automatically follows and keeps you in the frame. There's also a quick shot called animate, where the video has a sepia type gradient, then transitions to a regular color. Next is the orbit mode, where the drone does a 360 circle around you. You also have two quick shots. First being bubble, which has a pulsing effect. Also there's stacked, which is a vertical only shot. The bird's eye mode has where the drone rises up vertically, placing you as the main focal point of the shot. It works both going up and down. You can also add spin. Next is the snapshot mode, where the user stands still for 3 seconds while the hover takes a snapshot. This is the dolly track mode, where the drone follows you mimicking a dolly shot while you're moving. This shot works regardless of the speed you're moving, so you can walk or ride. Here's the sidetrack shot, which is my personal favorite, where the drone records the person from a side profile. And here we have the ski mode. I don't actually have any snow to test this out, but I do have an electric skateboard, so here's me at least trying to mimic the ski shot. Next is a cycling mode. This is where the drone follows you from behind while you're riding. There's actually two settings, the open area setting, where if you have a lot of wide open space to film, and the narrow route setting, which is more ideal for tighter trails that have obstacles in close proximity. This is the 360 spin shot, which like it says, is where the drone spins 360 degrees to take the shot. And just like the orbit shot, there's a bubble quick shot that has a pulsing effect. Here's the dolly zoom mode, which creates a really cool zoom effect. Next is indoor follow mode, which as the title suggests, is where the drone follows you indoors. And last is a manual control mode, where you're in full control to fly the drone as you wish. This is a lock feature where it only unlocks after you've had a total of 5 flights, and it uses either the phone or the beacon to control the drone. So as you can see, the Pro Max does have some pretty amazing shots, but the real question for many people is the Pro Max worth the $200 price tag over the regular Pro model? But in order to determine this answer, we have to ask two questions. First is, what do you get with the Pro Max over the Pro model? So the Pro Max is able to shoot 8K video, while the Pro is only able to shoot in 4K. But if you do film in 4K, the Pro model is capped at 60 frames per second, while the Pro Max can shoot at 4K at 120 frames per second. The next difference is when shooting vertical mode, which the Pro Max can do in 4K, but the Pro model is limited to 2.7K. Both models can also film in slow motion, but the Pro Max can do it in 4K, while the Pro is limited to 1080. Also, when filming, the Pro Max has a field view of 107 degrees, while the Pro is stuck at 104 degrees. And one really big difference is the rear collision detection system on both drones. So both models come with proximity sensors, but the Pro Max has an added benefit of a vision-based sensor as well. The Pro and Pro Max also have different HDR bit rates, with the Pro having a bit rate of 100 megabits per second and the Pro Max with 160 megabits per second. The last difference is the internal storage, which the Pro comes with 32 gigabytes, while the Pro Max doubles the storage with 64 gigabytes. So now that we know what advantages the Pro Max has over the Pro, the second question to determine if the Pro Max is worth the premium price is for the viewer to answer. How important is image quality to you? So if you just want to have a really cool drone that can take some great high quality drone footage, but you don't need the highest quality, I would say go for the Pro model. But if having the highest quality shots is the top of your priority list, then the Pro Max is the easy choice. For me personally, I use the drone for making bike content, so having the highest quality image, best rear detection sensors, the best internal storage was very important to me, so the Pro Max was the easy pick. So in conclusion, the HoverAir X1 Pro Max has been a complete game changer for me. The drone is so easy to use, it's like having a cameraman to film myself. But with any product, there are pros and cons. So first with the pros. First thing, and most important, is that the drone is very user-friendly, and within minutes, you'll be able to start flying with it. Not to mention, it only takes about 15 seconds to pull out your drone, unfold it, turn it on, and have it flying. But the thing I like the most is that in the app, the user is shown how each shot works and also gives you some little tips and tricks. My second pro is how light and compact this drone is, which makes storing it super easy and also very convenient to carry with you. My third pro is the quality of the footage itself. It's kind of mind-boggling how good the shots look. I was expecting that there would be some jerkiness to the shots, but they are shockingly smooth and very professional looking. My fourth pro is the number of different shot modes there are. There's a flight path for almost any shot you can want, and all of them work extremely well. And my fifth pro is the addition of omni-terrain, which has eliminated one of the biggest complaints about the original X1 model, where that version couldn't be flown over water due to the sensors on the bottom of the drone needing a hard surface below it to determine the altitude. So I'm very happy that this issue was addressed in this model. So for my cons, I only have a couple of them. First is I wish the battery lasted a little longer than 16 minutes. The good part is that considering how quick it is to set up a shot, you can get a lot of footage out of the battery, but it is on the shorter side. And my second con is that some of the flight modes are video only and don't let you put the drone in photo mode. I really wish I was able to have the drone take photos in cycling mode, but as of right now, I can't. But I'm hopeful in the future an update will be added. With that being said, the X1 Pro Max is incredible. It's easy to use, it's compact, the image quality is amazing, and it's really leveled up the type of content I can now create. Every time I use it, I still can't believe that I have a drone self-flying itself while recording me. It still blows my mind away. And I highly recommend getting one if you want a photography drone to record yourself. And when it comes to price, this is a pretty expensive drone, but when you take into account that it's self-flying, it shoots in 8K, and it's super easy to use, then I do feel it is worth the money. But my only recommendation at the bare minimum is to pick up the basic combo option so you at least get an extra battery, power adapter, and charging hub, all of which I think are worth the investment in getting more flight time and recording out of your drone. But if you have any questions or have any experience on your own with any HoverAir drones, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching and have a great one.